Drinking some more wine. Oh, for the love of God, I need help. Alright. Let's get us some purified waters in here. Because sure as shit, we are not doing this without purified water. Alright, so we're going to be using some purified water to start off with. Nothing too fancy, it's just, you know, members mark. And whatever the hell is making that high-pitched noise in the background is annoying the shit out of me. Alright, so I already drank up that last batch of wine that we made. I kind of deleted that from my channel just because it was mostly mead more than wine. This time we're going to do it right with some room temperature water. Alright, and I got me another bottle just in case I'm going to need it. So, where is the funnel? I cannot find a funnel. Ugh, Jesus. Fuck it. Ugh. We're using a cake spout for a funnel. Alright. We got a funnel. Sugar. Alright, so if you do not know the basics of making wine, we're going to go into the basics here and we're going to teach you how to do it. Let's see here. Fruit. I need fruit. Any kind of fruit will do. Honest to God, though, I am about this close to just making mead. This close. I'm about to make some mead. And I swear on God. Do we not keep any fruit? Oh, Lord. Oh, Lordy, Lordy. I may have just started making wine without checking to see if I have all the ingredients. So, instead, we're using milk and honey. I guess we're making mead today, boys. We're not making any wine. Let's go ahead and get to it. So, the basics to make mead. I'm going to have to rename this in post. You just need water. You need sugar. You need honey. And, of course, to make it all happen, the yeast. Yo, yo, welcome to the chat. Alright. So, first we're going to start with the honey because I know that sure shit isn't going to... Or, not, oh, we ain't going to start with our honey. We're going to start with our sugar. I want to add our sugar first. Add a good about half cup. Now, if you don't know, whenever you're making mead and or wine, mead is just wine. It's just sugar water. What the fuck? Everclear. We're not making Everclear. No, this is water. But yeah, no. Wine is just straight sugar, yeast, and whatever the fuck else you throw into it. That is all wine is, really. I am making a absolute mess right now. Hello, how are you? Doing quite well. Just working on making some alcohol. Up next, we're going to do some honey. So I'm just going to take that out of there. And I still ended up spilling sugar everywhere. Why? Oh my god. You're gonna want a healthy amount of honey, sugar, and yeast. Let's see here, what does it say? For everyone joining, he's explaining... What the fuck? Alright, we got ourselves some yeast. We're going to be using some Bob's Red Mill today. Nutritional yeast. That's how we... Okay, so apparently my chat has evolved into pure eroticism. That is great. I love my community. What little community I have, I love my community. Yeah, that's it. That's what we like to see. Come on, get down in there. Don't clog up on me. Damn it. Get down in there, you. Damn it, why is everybody so damn homoerotic in my chat? Alright. So, dependent on the amount of yeast, honey, and sugar that you have put into this, this is going to be more alcoholic. To be completely honest, best way to seal this over is, well, first off, it's activated. You want to get it out of sunlight as soon as possible. Me, on the other hand, I'm fucking retarded, and I did this during the daytime. So, currently yeast is actively dying in this, but it is also currently eating. I don't know if you can notice any of the specs going up and down there. Now, usually you'd have a cap where essentially it stops everything from going in and it lets all the air out. We don't have that. Mostly because I'm not going to pay the $20 in order to get one. So, I'm going to teach y'all a nice little trick that will save you a lot of money. It's called you get a paper towel. Now you just take this paper towel and make sure you always have refrigerator space. That's always important. Where the fuck is it? Where's my tape? I really should have prepped for this video better, but I was so excited to make alcohol that my alcoholic brain decided not to plan. We are actively falling apart here. Oh dear God, where the fuck is the tape? I can't find the tape. I'm gonna have a full-blown psychotic break here in just a moment. Okay, well, anyways, essentially you just want to take some tape, get yourself a nice little paper towel, get it into a square, put it over top, crunch it like that, tie it off. You can also do this with cloth. You can do this with just about anything else here. I highly recommend cloth above paper towel anyways, just because, you know, durability issues. Now, if you're smart and you know how to do this, you can technically fold the paper towel into itself without ripping it. And then you just take this little jug right here. As you can see, it's already starting to make a nice little line up here on the top. I want to see your face, man. Well, it just kind of sucks. I'm sorry. But, if you want to see my face, go into my Discord and you'll find it. Alright, so if you look right here, you'll see that nice little line there at the very top. That is yeast actively eating the sugar and the honey that is in there. Now, if you don't know what wine is essentially it's basically yeast piss. You're basically drinking the piss of a microorganism when you drink alcohol. Now, by the time I filter this and whatnot, this amount of liquid is going to go down to about here. You always want to make more than what you're intending to whenever you're first making your batch. So that way, whenever you filter all this sediment down here at the bottom, that way you can filter all that out. Now, you don't want to stir it or mix it or anything. You want that yeast to be able to get in there, eat that sugar and honey, bring it back up, and then, essentially put its waste product, which is alcohol, back into your mixture. Uh, Actually, you may say mold, but there actually is a method in which you make alcohol without yeast or any other ingredients. That's called fermentation. Now, there's a difference between fermentation and rot. For instance, you can ferment meat. You can ferment vegetables. Let me go ahead and put it this way. You take some berries, you crush them up, and you drop them in a barrel for a while. Eventually, it'll turn into alcohol. Yes, it'll have mold in it, but the alcohol itself is safe to drink. You would need to filter it. Now, if you drink the sediment that's at the bottom of this, it ain't going to hurt you. Especially after this gets done making, down here at the very bottom, it's not going to have any further issues. Now, as for mold, bacteria, yeah. Well, essentially, it's just the bacteria eating it and turning it into alcohol whenever you ferment. If anything, I recommend that you keep that in a, like refrigerator towards like the very back of your shelf. And you basically don't want to open up your refrigerator as much as possible. If you can, store it underneath your house with a device to catch whatever tries to get inside of it. Because you don't want that. You don't want stuff getting inside of your alcohol. Like you don't want to have a fly floating around in there. Tastes a little bit odd. Anything that enters your alcohol will taste differently and slightly wrong, essentially, is the best way to put it. All right. Now that is yeast and sugar that was just off of the counter. That is what it looks like when it's activated. It turns from a dull yellow powder, and then it attaches itself to that sugar molecule, and that's how it looks afterwards. So that's how you know you're getting a good brew, is when your yeast instantly attaches to that sugar. Don't use instant yeast. I did that before, and my wine came out tasting of hints of bread. It kind of sucked, not gonna lie. And the cleanup for this process is very simple, especially if you knew what you were doing. I didn't. Yeah, you just simply wipe off your... You're all good to go. And that is how you make alcohol at home. And that's how I got away with drinking before I was the age of 21. So if y'all enjoyed the stream, if you enjoyed the little infotainment, thing that I had going on, if you appreciate this type of content, I plan on making another batch here soon. So I will be live later making another batch, and I will have fruits this time, so I can actually show you how to make a fruit wine. As for beer, that's a little bit different, and I could show people how to make beer on here. It's not that hard. It's not too much of a different process. You're just taking hops, and you're essentially just boiling them. You don't drink your tent. Well, honestly, whenever it comes to wine and whatnot, here goes actually an interesting fact that you can tell your classmates or anybody else. Did you know that back then, Germany actually used to drink wine instead of well water due to well water being poisoned? So most children in Germany would either drink beer or wine. Some would even drink vinegar. Now, granted, the people who drank vinegar didn't last very long, but the people who drank beer and wine are still alive to this day. On top of that, if you want to make just straight alcohol, it's not hard. Uh, it just takes a little bit more effort than I would like to say. And on top of that, you need a tax stamp in order to make certain types of alcohol, like moonshine, for instance. You need a brewer's license in order to do so. As for like, let's see here, bourbon, whiskey, same thing with that. You need a license to make that type of stuff. But as for, oh, you will drink. I honestly don't care. I mean, I'm going into history of wine and I'm teaching people how to make wine because it's almost a good skill to have. And honestly, I see this as educational. Well, even if he is trolling, he's learning something while he's at it. I don't see a problem with it. He's in my chat, he's here chilling. I don't see a problem with it. It's educational, and that's what it's meant to be. Well, anyways, hopefully y'all enjoyed that little demonstration, the little bit of a history lesson that I gave, and how I essentially broke it down as bacteria is essentially eating that sugar and yeast. Or, no, 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 no. The yeast is eating the sugar and the other bacteria within your wine, and it's producing alcohol. That's how you make alcohol. It's not hard. You only need three ingredients to make alcohol at home: just a little bit of honey, a little bit of yeast that you can buy at the store no matter what age you are, and a little bit of sugar. That's all you need to make alcohol. And then you just need to let that jug sit in the refrigerator or somewhere cool and dark for roughly, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks before it's safe to drink, I would say. You can make it go on longer by adding progressional yeast to the mix. So then it actually, keeps making and producing alcohol. You don't want to throw all of your yeast into one. Yeah, thank you. I very much appreciate it. Sorry, I have to lean down and read it because I can't see out of one of my eyes. I have to sit there and like lean in on it. But yeah, that's all you need if you want to make alcohol. If you want to make beer, it's a different process, and I will be showing people how to make beer here soon. Beer is also known for being a drink that people would drink if they were out of water. Alcohol has so many different roots in history that it is very important to go ahead and learn all of them. Egyptians, they used to drink a special type of alcohol that God only knows what they used to make it. I really need to do some more research on that subject. But in the meantime, let me go grab the second glass jug and we'll start on our second batch of mead. So give me like 2 seconds. Oh Lord, I gotta go take me a piss break too. Ugh. Alright, chat, we are back. We got another bottle. Sorry, I don't know how to spell. Oh, you're fine. Nobody knows how to fucking spell anymore. I swear to God, half of these teachers are like, "Oh, my kids can't spell no more," and I'm like, I wonder why. I wonder why. I don't even blame, I don't even blame, brain rot. for half of this shit. Honestly, I think it's just humans are getting stupider. Genetically, I think. So we're gonna get about a half a cup of sugar. This is about a half-gallon jug. So if it were a gallon, I'd be using a full cup of sugar. And we're just going to put that right down the top. Again, for those who did not see the first one. Ah! It's getting everywhere. Step. Step. I always hate whenever this damn thing gets stopped up. Usually I have another funnel that doesn't get as stopped up as easily, but this one you gotta be real careful with. And we're just going to add our honey on top of that for our second batch. And again, this is something you can do completely legally at home. This is something that is 100% allowed under prohibition laws. And fun fact about prohibition, there was this wonderful product called Vine Grow, I believe is what it's called. And it said, do not stick this brick into a cabinet for 2 to 3 weeks and let it turn into wine. There was actually a brick during how to make wine just by looking at the do not instructions. Alright, we're going to add a bit more yeast to this one because I want this one to be a higher alcohol percentage. I'm just bouncing that off of my 2 fingers right there, making sure it goes down there. Compacts doesn't. Now, I'm doing this before adding any of the water. And you may be like, well, does that make a difference? Kinda, sorta. Not really. Best way to put it, it makes as big a difference as 1 to 2% alcohol per volume. I recommend adding your water in first, just so it actually all mixes in. I personally like to put my water in last, so all that gets mixed together. And you don't want to pour it directly on top of it, too. If you pour it directly on top of there, it's just going to kill your yeast. And you can see it bubbling up here. See it bubbling right there? That is your yeast being activated as it's eating the sugar. Now that's good. Honestly, it keeps, you know, it essentially allows your yeast to live on just a little bit longer. Eat just a bit more than what it needs. Ugh. That's me when I eat Taco Bell. Yeah. I get it. Honestly, Taco Bell is just god-awful. I am so glad that we are banning certain food dyes from fast food places. For instance, McDonald's has been linked to cancer due to its high amount of Red 40, I think it was, used in their food. Imagine how unappetizing these foods are going to taste / look after they ban all these different chemicals that they're putting into your food. It's gonna be crazy. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Nice deep yellow. That's what you want with mead. This is how your mead should look. Nice deep yellow. Now it's going to look a bit more clear when it's done. Let's see here. Yesterday I ate McDonald's. Yeah, you're not going to die from McDonald's, but you're not going to die instantly if you drink or eat just a little bit of McDonald's. It's not going to kill you, but it has been linked to several different cases of cancers. That's why I personally don't eat out anymore. It's not going to give you cancer later on if you eat like a burger or two here or a burger or two there. It's just, honestly, if you keep eating it, it's bad for you. Now, whenever it comes to like wines and whatnot, like for instance, this one that I just made here, this needs to sit for a few weeks. If you try to drink it instantly, you are going to hurt yourself. Do not drink this as soon as you make it. Don't just grab the bottle and start drinking. You need to have restraint. Main reason being, when you're making this, you don't... Oh, wow, that is producing a lot on there. Okay, it's a bit hard to see it, but look in there. Look at all that. That's building up there at the top. That's good. You want that foam up there. That is CO2 coming out of the bottle. Oh yeah, if you only eat it like once a month, you're gonna be fine. McDonald's is... it's just bad for you. It gives you a lot of unnecessary calories. That's why McDonald's is just god-awful for you, is because of the excessive amount of calories. Personally, I think everybody should have the know-how to cook for themselves, and, like, it should be affordable to cook your own food. Sadly, that's not the reality that we live in. But, whenever it comes down to it, try to buy your food fresh, if you can. Eat fresh, don't eat McDonald's, bad for you. This is bad for you, 100%. This is literally... Okay, if you want me to tell you what mead is, it's literally just honey sugar water. This is bad for you. This is terrible for you, actually. But, when it eventually turns into alcohol, it helps settle down all of that, like, excess sugar that's in there, all that excess honey. And you're not supposed to, like, chug this anyways. You're supposed to lightly sip on it. You're not supposed to, like, grab a whole mug and just start chugging it. Now, you can. It won't kill you if you do, but after this gets done processing, you most likely want to serve it warm with mulling spices. If it's warm with mulling spices, it's going to taste fucking great. Well, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and end my stream there. I hope that this was educational. I hope that y'all had fun with me while making wine. I genuinely had a great time. Honestly, the chat was going off and it was kind of funny. I do appreciate it, and thank y'all for stopping by. Have yourselves a wonderful day, night, evening, and honestly, I hope to see you back on the channel for more of these little short things that I do here and there. I really do enjoy making alcohol. It's my passion, my hobby. And I hope that y'all have yourselves a wonderful day.